All right. This is another episode of Overtime brought to you by Flight Room TV. This is episode 30 of Overtime. We're getting up there. You know, this is alternative thought, alternative thinking. First and foremost, we want to speak about what's this push for Mars shit, man? I really don't understand this shit. And who got the echo? Yeah.
It ain't me, is it?
I don't think so. Now it's gone. But all right, yeah. What do y'all believe? Like, what's this push for Mars? Like, I'm seeing like Mars in the news. Dubai said they orbited Mars. I believe China said they, orbited Mars, and then late last year they said they sent a rover to the moon. We ain't been to the moon in X amount of years. Elon Musk is all about Mars. Yeah, and then like we put so much money in these projects, NASA and all that shit, but people here now, this is my big beef with it. People here are homeless, and like why so much money pushed into space exploration? Nobody. Money.
At the end of the day, money at the end of the day. Shit, I just seen today. I be on the Reddit shit or whatever. I just seen today, because I got some Nokia stock or whatever. You know, niggas remember them as being them cell phone motherfuckers, but they're doing
play Snake on that jump.
Yeah, but Nokia, they have it's some shit about them talking about they're gonna put like some type of 5G network or some shit out
on Mars.
On the goddamn moon, or whatever. It's supposed to help our 5G shit go on or whatever. But yeah, at the end of the day, going interplanetary or going to the moon or whatever, it's all about money. At the end of the day.
Yeah, but it just don't make too much sense. Like, people are struggling here. Like, why are you going out there to find what is the answer out there?
That's a good question. I think it's more about like research and stuff. You remember?
What are you researching though exactly?
Remember how we was talking about Cydonia, city of Cydonia? I think it probably got something to do with that. They want to remember how like the mummy and shit be going back to the old hieroglyphics and the old settlings of past generations. I think they want to go up there and try to figure out how they were configuring shit to come down here.
It's just interesting how we skipped over the moon again to get to Mars. Like all these nations, Dubai and
So I mean, I got a couple thoughts on that too.
Okay.
And if you look at how much minerals, I'm just talking about like minerals and precious metals and stuff are worth right now. It's worth more than money. It's worth more than currency. It appreciates faster than anything we have on Earth right now. I mean, one of the things that it could be is some of them trying to discover, and pull from Mars / wherever the fuck they're going, because I think that we only hear it when they want us to hear it. But I think that when you start pulling different metals that we don't even have on our periodic table, like that shit is stupid and valuable. You know what I mean? Like that could be one of them. And I also think that we're probably not getting the full story on how bad our resources is, how bad we're actually fucking up the world. Like,
as far as what though, Shaq?
Like you know the whole situation about how that people do population reduction and stuff like that. Like there's a whole like intricacies to do that, right? To like control population and all that. Like do we really know how bad we are right now? All we know is the ozone layer is fucked up, and that is global warming. But do we really know how bad of a situation we are? Why? And then that kind of leans towards why it is these entities, Elon Musk, blah 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 blah, SpaceX, all these entities hell bent on trying to find something.
Yeah, that's
Mars.
it's funny. It's funny you say that hell bent. Like, like what do that mean?
They're hell bent, but I feel like it's a exaggeration though. I feel like it's an exaggeration though, because I've seen like multiple documentaries or whatever. If you want to get into the conspiracy theory shit, where like just in America, everybody in America can live comfortably in the state of Texas, just alone the state of Texas. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you go to China, they have billions of motherfuckers living on top of each other.
Oh yeah, you talking about the size of Texas?
Yeah, the size of Texas, everybody in America could live in fucking Texas. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be really a thing about space or I'm not talking about outer space, whatever. I'm just talking about living experience or whatever. Everybody can live in Texas. So what the documentary say anyway. Everybody can live there comfortably or whatever, and we can still have the same resources. Blase. I think it's like I said. I think it's a money grab type of thing or whatever. As far as going to,
you think it's a Ponzi scheme?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So this is our first guest of Overtime so far.
Yes, sir.
Don, how do you like? What do you make of this whole Mars situation? And we jumping on that.
Yeah. Man, I feel like you gotta ask yourself: Do you believe that we truly went to outer space? That's the first question.
The first question. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. I mean, if you believe that whole, you know what I'm saying, psyop, then this conversation don't need to go no further. But if you don't believe it, you know, then you got to do some more critical thinking. You ask yourself, like, if we ain't go to the moon, if it's not even possible, if we're not capable of going into outer space, okay, you gotta take into consideration the firmament and all of that.
So we getting into the flat Earth.
No, yeah, all right,
exactly. But look, it's more than just getting into flat Earth. You can't just you can't just label that under flat Earth at this point, because now you boxing yourself in. You gotta consider where the whole flat Earth thing came from and why the people believe what they believed in ancient times. You know, that's an ancient concept.
Right.
You know. But I think it's more so wordplay nowadays. It's a lot of wordplay. You gotta pay attention to what's being said with the wordplay. You understand that they want to go to Mars. What does Mars represent? Ancient times. And now you're getting into Greek and Roman mythology. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, the planets are, you know, all Greek names. So yeah.
If we didn't truly go to the moon, who are these figures that they constantly been drilling in our subconscious and conscious? You know what I'm saying? Since we was little ones. Who is Jupiter? Who is Mars? Who is Venus? You know what I'm saying? What do they mean to them?
Right.
They represent energies. Different energies.
Different energies, and Mars. What energy does Mars represent? If you want to approach it from that.
Say it again, Corey.
I said it was a war.
Yeah, exactly. War. But that's if they constantly talking about Mars, what are they really saying? War. Yeah. If you ask me, who are they going to war with? If they're seeking to, you know what I'm saying, find or land on this Mars in the outer space, what's up there? What do we know is up there? The heavens is up there according to ancient scriptures, ancient documentation, you know what I'm saying? So now we're talking about going to war with the heavens. That's what I take from it. But you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Do you think like Space Force got something to do with that?
I mean, it gets deep. You talking Space Force and any other force?
Because you talking about war, that sound like a military for the space.
Man, it's a lot, man. The objective is critical thinking. Thinking outside of indoctrination. They've been programming us to think one way. That's the consumer way from when we was watching them cartoons as little ones on TV. Now you want that toy you seen on TV, you know what I'm saying? All the way up to now. You see whatever you want. Now you want to go get it. That's one way to think, but it's a whole nother world out there, you know what I'm saying? When you dive down the rabbit hole of critical thinking. That's the objective.
Yeah, the whole Mars thing, like we just been like, hearing that shit nonstop for the last month, 2 months, like especially like the last few weeks. It's just Mars, Mars, Mars. And that's what I was saying earlier.
Years though, really.
And also like you could say that shit for COVID. Like you just hearing COVID, like nonstop. You haven't, and also
But think about it. Look, I don't mean to cut you off. But think about what was it before this? What was the scare tactics? It's always some factor of scare tactic through propaganda that they use. What was it before that? You got ISIS, you got Al Qaeda, you got the Russians. It's some form of scare tactic to keep you in a state of, you know what I'm saying? I gotta pay attention. Yeah, I gotta pay attention because I might miss something as far as what they got to tell us. But they ain't telling us nothing. They programming us to fear. That's the objective. That shit is
also on the sports tip, and I was saying that shit earlier, Marcus, the GOAT. Like I feel like we've been like bombarded with that term lately. You don't feel that?
Yeah.
Of course,
like,
bro.
Go,
James,
go.
what you think it is?
Yeah, like come on.
Go James, what you think that should mean?
Most
You know what I'm saying? To let you know.
Tom
like,
Brady.
They telling you right in your face.
Nah, but still the GOAT still, that's just symbolic with all their ritual shit and everything else they be doing too. So,
yeah.
It's a sacrifice.
And how they be throwing up when niggas hit the 3-pointers and they be throwing this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit's all on purpose.
You gotta understand in symbology, like symbolism and shit. That's another language that the powers that be speak. That's what they do. Symbolism, ancient times too. You know what I'm saying? Symbolism. The goat is synonymous with the calf. Golden. They used to make golden calves back in the day and worship golden calves and stuff like that. Like it's
your
it's
idols.
It's the same. It's the same thing happening.
Yeah,
the average person don't see it though, man. They too distracted by everything else going on, man. It's a lot going
on that a couple of times in our previous episodes, just like the propaganda and like the messages that they try to like repeat,
but they say like 3 times it's already in you, and we've been hearing COVID for a whole year, bro. So like, you know what I'm saying?
COVID.
And for like advertisers, Coca-Cola, anybody, Pepsi, they just gotta show you something 3 times, and like you're right. Okay, I need some Pepsi. I need some whatever. But they've been showing us COVID like 1,000,000 times in 1 year. But I'm sorry, Paul. What were you saying?
to that point, like it's like ingrained. They try to ingrain it into your head, but like he said, I mean, it's up to you to have your own type of conscience. You almost got to actively like disengage from stuff that you see and hear, and you know what I mean. Even listen to like shit. Like I feel like people get paid just to put messages in your head. So
yeah.
That sounds about right. If y'all talking about the Mars, definitely off like the symbolicism or whatever. I totally forgot like Mars was like symbolized war and shit. And
but you put that shit together though.
Everybody is like bumping heads with everything since forever though. So that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, so like, what do y'all think the correlation is? I'll go ahead.
No, I think like even some of like the shit with Mars, like because we so-called went to the moon, right? And I feel like that shit kind of like establishes a level of like arrogance within the people that come from the country that went to space. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, the Americans, you know, we so-called went to the moon or whatever. It's like, okay, we as Americans, we can walk around in that arrogance and be like, hey, look at us, we went to the moon and shit. So another country, it's like a battle between the superpowers. Who can be the one that say they went to Mars? The nigga who go to Mars can go back to their own people and like say we went to Mars. What does that do?
Hey, we went
It
to
strengthens
Mars.
the trust within the people within their own government.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
it strengthens the trust within the government. So it's now it's like, man, we went to the Mars. We better do what these niggas say. It further like creates more trust within your oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's what the
they have
monument
this
mean.
symbol of look at like I cut the head off of this beast. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that same kind of shit. Like nigga, look what I did. I went to Mars, nigga. Like you see what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people know how powerful that is.
It's the flex.
Yeah.
It's all about the flex.
Exactly. But what that does is what it does is it creates more like trust within the people of that nation, so they are further indoctrinated within whatever they want to get them, because now they be like, nigga, look what we just did. Like, how could I not want to be a Russian?
Hard.
Like Russian pride, even though Russian pride could be complete destruction, you know what I'm saying? But because their people did it, they're gonna fall through. They're gonna go right and fall right in line. I feel like that's part of the reason what that moon shit did for us in the past. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of these superpowers probably want to go to Mars, like to like you say, like flex, you know what I'm saying, for their own people to see.
All right, so I understand that avenue, right? Like I understand that makes 100% sense. But what if it's not possible to go to Mars? Like they said, we haven't been to the moon since we've been to the moon, and that was in the late '60s. So what makes you think we can
really go?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what makes you think we can just go to Mars, even though we haven't been to the moon since the late '60s?
Right. I mean, look.
What makes that jump?
Look at it. We can look at it from a critical thinking, like I told you before, standpoint, man. Like all that information I sent you, we're not looking at no solid objects. We get images of solid objects, a bunch of different spheres. But when you get the most modern day high power telescope and you zoom in, these things is not solid objects. These things is pulsing. It's constantly shifting. Like it's like you can see the frequency and vibration right there. It's not a solid object. It's pulsing. You know what I'm saying? We talking cymatics and all that now. You know what I'm saying? Like go look at a cymatic video, and then look at a star with a high power telescope. You're gonna see the same. You know what I'm saying? It's some similar going on right there, man. If it's all frequency and vibration, you know what I'm saying? You got the golden ratio on the backdrop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You take everything into account. It's like
we do.
why do you believe that those are solid objects that we are capable? We haven't left the firmament. We haven't been outside the firmament.
All right, so like all right, explain that, Don, because like I used to like shut you out as far as like the whole space, term and shit. Like obviously I used to say obviously we've been there, but when you start talking about the firmament, that's when I start like turn the corner. I'm not saying I'm not a believer in this or that. I'm just saying, yeah, that's when I started to like raise the eyebrow.
I mean, I'm taking everything into account from ancient scripture to what they call science nowadays, as far as understanding the light spectrum and everything. We only see this much of the light spectrum. You understand? So how are you supposed to be expecting to comprehend something that's beyond our comprehension? We have documents and things to point us in the right direction, but who knows what that is made out of as far as the firmament. We talking about some heavenly elements at this point. Yeah. You can't he said he divided the water from the waters. Now I'm quoting scriptures like he divided the water from the water.
Can I cut you off right there? I'm not gonna cut you off, but I just want to say that I've heard some shit where they saying that it's like literally water. It's not like space and a void and shit or whatever. I've seen like different videos or whatever the fuck, and they saying it's like it's actually water up there.
That make more sense to me. Whether it's another form of H2O, it is a heavenly form. Water comes from the heavens at the end of the day. If you divided the waters from the waters, everything comes from water. Your cells is in water. 90% water, your body. 70%, whatever the makeup is, the earth. 70%. You know what I'm saying? Everything comes from the waters.
Mm-hmm.
So it only makes sense that it's water up there. What type of water? The scientific form of that water, gas, solid, liquid, like who knows the makeup of it? Plasma, if you want to go on a whole nother end, like who knows? But at the end of the day,
talking about how it should look like pulsing light right there, right?
We know we ain't been on the other side of that barrier.
Wait, that was supposed to be that's Mars right there.
Yeah.
No, like even if you look up at like any star like that, it looks like that in a camcorder, like a camera. It should just be it'll get smaller and bigger, like crazy, like that.
But don't that look kin to like when you put water on top of a speaker and you had a different frequencies running through it? Like cymatics. I don't know if you ever seen the cymatic video, but that's what that looked like to me. It looked like some form of liquid pulsing at a specific frequency that's repeating. A repeating frequency.
It was all light.
I don't know though, bro. We got more research to do.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. What is y'all like biggest hang up on, space exploration with anybody?
I mean, I say the biggest thing, the hang up is, I mean, we don't even really know because like none of us can actually claim that we was actually left the planet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything that we going by is like images that we've been shown in school. You know what I'm saying? Videos, space videos we watch, movies, video games. You know what I'm saying? It's like so cartoons. So it's like you start to believe that shit is real, but like nobody can actually claim that they was actually on the outside and saw what that shit really looked, the planet really looked like from the outside. You know what
would like settle all this shit though? If there was like a private, like industry or a private person that can actually fund themselves to do certain things without no government backing. That's what would settle everything for me, for real.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If it was no like implications from
if it was like me, you, everybody in here started to GoFundMe, and we get to GoFundMe to blast off into space. Like just give us.
That's really doing that.
That's
what's mobile. You talking about Tesla?
That's not because they get government money. So like at a certain point, like you get compromised, right?
Exactly. What's more realistic though? Getting the funding to blast off the outer space, or the topic we still ain't covered yet, Antarctica and North Pole.
There you go.
Now we talking. You can't talk about space without talking about the North Pole and the South Pole or Antarctica as they call it, or whatever you want.
Yeah, that's a good. Because they said there's never been a time.
To that point, the government has blocked off a lot of that area.
But how did they do that? How do you physically do that? How do you physically do that? Like, how do you? All right, so like, you niggas try to walk up on the White House, right? You try to walk up on the White House lawn. There's gonna be security and shit, right? You can't walk up in that. You can't at all. You can't walk up on there because security gonna stop you. All right, so how do you physically stop anybody from crossing from the Antarctica, to wherever? Antarctica to the North Pole, because apparently that's connected. So how do you stop somebody from crossing over that? Like, how is it physically possible? Because boats or planes or anything like that, unless it's physically impossible in itself.
See, I think it's both. I think it's both because
But how do you patrol that wide range of area? Like
It's
as far as
it's
military,
not physically impossible, bro. It's not physically impossible.
yeah, there's no way.
it's gotta be physically impossible because
there's no way you can patrol that entire area.
exactly,
Why not?
yeah.
Why not?
Who you think that we
What
have
army is gonna patrol that?
just sitting there?
What if it was people that's been there since ancient times?
Mm.
What if it's? I mean, we've been indoctrinated to think one way, bro. And we've all we know is the continents. Nobody has really been able to go up there and look at the continents from an aerial view
Nah,
and
yeah.
really understand the geographical layout of how everything is. All we know is what we've been given with maps. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You can't go on Google Maps and look at Antarctica.
you
But my thing is, what if it's
Not even Greenland.
what if it's we've been kept boxed in as far as where we can go, you know what I'm saying, without being in line with this family or that family or whatever the case may be. Because back in ancient times, they real big on family, bloodlines, blood ties. You understand?
Right.
Marrying, staying, keeping everything in a tight circle. So, what's to say that they ain't got people down there or ties all around that area type shit?
It's not a large area to pass through though.
I
Well,
mean,
I don't know. I don't
It
know.
depends on if you're talking about the North Pole or the South Pole. If we talking about Antarctica as a continent or a ring around the flat Earth.
It's crazy. Also, like the southernmost tip of South America or South Africa is warm weather, but like supposedly Antarctica is right there. Like, why is that shit like covered in ice? But the southernmost part of South America is warm. Beach, tropical, all that shit.
I don't think people take into consideration the technology and information that we don't have at this point in time. Like, you gotta think about how the ancients used to build, cut stone without the you know what I'm saying, the machines and stuff we have nowadays. You get into frequency and vibration, how you can turn solid to liquid with a specific frequency and all these different things. Like, I just don't think we thinking about it as critical as we should, taking everything into account. It sounds like a fairy tale or X-Men comic book, you know what I'm saying, Marvel comics, but where do you think they get all this stuff from?
Like the shape of the earth? Oh, you talking about like how
I'm talking about
like Superman was born in Antarctica and all that shit, or landed in Antarctica, shit like that.
I'm talking about even Thor, like Thor's home world is tied into ancient, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's tied into ancient beliefs, and it's like, where do they get all this stuff from? Like, you reading scriptures and stuff, and y'all, I don't know if y'all Bible believers or read the Bible at all, but like all these things taking place that you know what I'm saying, like,
oh yeah, we in those times.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying last week, man.
It sounds like a fairy
though?
tale, but it's like we're not taking everything into consideration when we analyze the topic. Linguistics and frequency and vibration is a very important topic that I think is not studied enough amongst the Black community.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a little bit of that last week. Nominative determinism. Yeah, words is power.
Yeah, manifestation. Literally. You can manifest something. Like I told you, I sent you that link on invocation. Like, you can invoke something. Now we getting back to the topic of the video, man. You push for Mars.
Right.
They invoking war, if you ask me. Mars this, Mars that.
Even if we went to war, though, what would we going like to war for?
Money.
I know, like
Whatever.
what's the
And to war,
what would they put it on? The, like, you know what I mean? What would they make like the platform be? What would the storyline be? What would we going to war for?
I
What
mean,
do you
what
mean?
was
We're gonna
the
go into some new shit.
what,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the narrative? What was the narrative 10 years ago? It was weapons of mass
Like
destruction,
oil. Yeah, yeah.
oil, and
Yeah.
it was terrorist
And weapons.
attacks, and then it was weapons. Then it
Yep.
was who
Yeah.
knows what it was.
I
It
remember that
was what
weapons of
they
mass
made.
destruction.
Yeah. They stopped.
It was
Yeah.
Al
That weapons
Qaeda.
of
Then
mass
it was
destruction. They was going
what was the
crazy
other one?
with
What
that
was the
shit.
No,
other one?
they just went into hunting
Muslims.
Osama and shit after that. Yeah, they just
Yeah,
started. They like cut off the
Attack
war
on
and it was
Muslims.
just
we
about hunting and shit.
we
Yeah,
went
they
from
really
Al Qaeda to ISIS.
right.
Yeah, the Muslims.
Yeah,
But
they
you got to
Al
think.
found
Qaeda,
the
yep.
foundation and they went in
And all
after
them
it. And
CIA.
yeah,
You
they
got to
had some
think
killed
though.
before.
Look. If we know that it's fabricated propaganda, and we gotta look at it, we gotta analyze it. Like, what do these names symbolize, and why are they pushing it so hard in the media? Al Qaeda. What does Al Qaeda mean? What does ISIS mean? ISIS is more well known. You know what I'm saying? You getting into Egyptian goddess and goddess.
Mythology. Yeah,
Yeah,
mythology.
mythology. We get it. It's the same thing that's going on now with the war, the push for Mars. You gotta understand
Oh shit. Okay.
you understand what's being invoked. What's the hidden message
Yeah, the
and what
agenda.
they pushing. And then all while they pushing it, it's always something else going on behind the scenes.
Of course.
Like all the politicians going to an island to mess with, you know what I'm saying? Uh, little boys and girls. It's so much going on, man. It's so much going on. You get lost in the sauce, man.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think people also underestimate the the notion because you just talked about the island portion of it, and I think people underestimate the notion of water too. Like when you in certain places, you on the water, you on the boat, you on the ship. In certain
Mm-hmm.
places, you don't have any laws, any rules. Like that shit is like it's almost like it's certain sweet spots. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's certain sweet spots where you don't even have to answer to what you do because don't nobody have no territory. You know what I'm saying? It's like what law you gonna answer to? So it's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
it get deep.
That's why they draw lines in the map.
Sometimes I'll be thinking to myself, is there certain places on the planet that's unmarked? Like you know how they show us the maps of what the world look like, but is there certain places that they don't draw on the maps? So we don't even want that. They don't even want the people to know exist. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain places of Earth that like we think
Exactly,
we don't
because
even
they
know. You know what I'm saying?
remember that that island. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but it had the natives on there, and they keep on trying to pull up on the island. They
And
keep getting
they killed
killed.
the explorers. They killed the
Yeah,
explorers.
it's like if they showing us that,
It's like close to
and
Australia.
they telling us that the world is X amount of people. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever billion or whatever million, whatever. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Do you legit have technology to track every single last person, count every single last person to give us this number? If not, then you gotta consider how many more people could really be out there.
All right, so but like what about like satellites? That whole like Google image shit. Like obviously that's technology you can see in live time because I pulled up
So
my car. You know what I mean? You can like look at your house. You can look at your car. You can look at your shit outside like with satellite images. So like where is that? If there's no space, where is that? Like or if there's a firmament, where is satellite imagery?
what's to say that they don't have like think about it, bro. You
We got
know that
drones.
we've been up in the air, bro. We've been up in the air, high up. That don't mean that we've been to space. We have planes, we got
Maybe
blimps,
not even past the
we got
ozone layer.
we got Goodyear blimps, we got drones now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping them from flying a drone over the sky, taking pictures and saying it came from a satellite? What? That's not possible. If they done told us we went to space.
I don't know, because that should show you everything. Y'all ever played on Google on Google Maps?
Bruh.
That shit is wild.
Okay. So look, my thing is, what's to stop them from creating some type of satellite technology that is floating up there, but it's not floating out of space the way they tell it is?
Yeah,
Like, I don't see what's hard to let go or explore. You know what I'm saying? Consider. If they lied to us about so much, what's wrong with at least considering it? I'm not 100% sure about anything, you know what I'm saying, but I'm going to entertain the thought of an alternative if I know that they done lied to me about all this other stuff.
I fuck with it. Something different.
But another thing, like you look up like the space programs, what's your operation like Fishbowl, where there's like blasting rockets, like to get past the ozone layer.
Y'all ain't seen them. Y'all ain't seen them videos when they so-called went to the moon and they found
Yeah, you always say that.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog. I know y'all seen that, Joe.
So, but like that look like a.
Is it real or no?
Is it real or no?
They said they found gold up there, joint and everything.
Where's that though?
Exactly. Well, it ain't going in our hands.
Why we ain't got, you know what I'm saying, projects made out of gold? Why we got the brick, this old brick, this brick that been here, man? Y'all need to look into ancient maps and ancient instructions, like buildings people was building. Understand? A lot of these buildings ain't as new as you think they is. You gotta understand that different resets in history that take place the same way they trying to reset right now.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like Tartaria and shit like that?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What's Tartaria?
Like there's like old sites that you see now that you think is old was older than what you think. Yeah.
Oh, so you mean like So you mean like the
like Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon was like a site that's like old Tartaria, where even like Ohio, like a lot of shit. Like
they said the Egyptians been there for a minute though.
It's pyramids. It's pyramids in America, just like it's pyramids in South America.
I seen pyramids in
just like it's pyramids. You know what I'm saying?
Even like
they said they can't
in like New England and shit too.
What the fuck is the joint called? They can't date the fucking whatever the hell the shit is, the lion out there joint. And the
Sphinx.
Yeah, the Sphinx. They said they can't date it because of the water erosion or whatever. And they're like, why does it have water erosion? How was there ocean out this motherfucker or whatever? You know what I'm saying? When has there been water in Egypt, in the desert, in the middle of a real ass desert? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
things we will never know the real.
Right.
We will never know the real.
Right.
Ever.
They said there's something under the Sphinx paw or some shit.
I think the biggest question you need to ask yourself is why all the lies.
Why we would never know the real?
Why all the lies? Why do they work
information
so hard to keep the truth from us and create all these?
So Corey, you think we're not worthy of the information, or
no? I wouldn't say that, but I think it's too much information for the power
for the regular.
Yeah, it's too much because if it's information about I know we got cellular, we got solar power and all this other shit and whatever the fuck, but if it's really some shit where nobody has to do nothing or whatever to have electricity and all this other shit, of course course they're gonna
free
keep
energy.
That. Oh, yeah, exactly. Free energy. Of course they're gonna keep that. There's movies about it. Everything. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Of
Same
course.
things like
Niggas wanna
fossil
get
I think they
fuels
just
and shit
keep.
like that.
Of
Yeah,
course.
they
Yeah.
gotta keep you.
I
Yeah,
mean, I think
that's okay. That's what
And
everything's
and
about.
and it's
Keeping you the
crazy
slave
though.
race. Yeah,
But the thing about it is crazy though. You already have if you're already at that echelon or whatever, you already have that money and shit. It's like, damn, you're already there. You're already there, bro. It's like, come on, dog, cash out, relax. Like you've been in Vegas, cash out. It's like, why? Why do you need to go even further? You have to, and for you to be on
because there
that.
gotta be somebody at the top. Always gotta be somebody at the top. There's always gotta be somebody at the bottom. That's why.
Right, but my thing is like
exactly.
at
That's
this
the
point
whole
in
reason
time, for
why
you
they
to be there, you have to
the
be
whole,
like 80 something years old or something.
Somebody
And it's like, nigga, you're done.
they living past
Hey,
that now.
no.
Like, come on, relax.
Hey,
Let somebody else come up, nigga.
I'm
Shit.
saying, but they
but that's how you establish dominance. You got to keep the you know your the those beneath you like ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why they don't give us information in order to enslave us. It's just that simple. If niggas knew they were slaves, they do better. Niggas, but a lot of us don't know. A lot of us don't realize like the system that we are in. Like most niggas actually prefer to live. Like as much as niggas talk about rebellion and I want to be part of the system, niggas prefer this way of life. Like you know what I'm saying? Like let's,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps the shit going. To be completely
Because they're
real,
not trying to be in
like
that
living
book.
in the state of this system is what's going to keep you living in this system. You know what I'm saying? But you know that's just what that shit is.
And to Corey's point, like, you know, why don't give up? Why don't give up at 70, at 80? It's called
90.
it's called generations. And I don't think
You're
it's
crazy.
themselves. I don't think it's just for themselves. I think it's a lot of family history. It's a lot of hidden, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of hidden gems and stuff that's passed down generation to generation. And I think that's the key. I think that they, you know what I'm saying, and you know, quote unquote, they would want to keep that knowledge in their fucking family. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they would rather pass that shit down, like Remy, you know, just Remy was talking about fossil fuels, stuff like that. And different type of energy, different type of shit that they don't want, you know, other people to know, and pass it down generation to generation, so they could be stupid rich and stupid wealthy. You know what I mean? Like I definitely think I definitely think that's the thing. If you look at some of the books that are written based off true stories. That's what is actually built off of. You know, when the takeover from the Native Americans, that was built. You keep stuff and you hide it and you pass it down from generation to generation. So you always above. You know the people that are under you. It's a cycle, bro.
I get it. My whole thing is everybody ain't smart though. That's why they was clowning.
And that's why they can do it.
look. I think that the cat is out the bag at this point. The information that they've been passing down from generation to generation that's been keeping us in this perpetual state of, you know what I'm saying, servitude and bondage. It's out of the bag at this point, man. If you've been reading it anyway, if you've been reading and paying attention. So according to ancient scriptures, it turns out that we are God's chosen people. And if you dig a little bit further, you see that we are in this state that we in because we're not, you know what I'm saying, following the law, statute, and commandments of that God.
Mm-hmm.
He put a lesser people in our place, and they still in that place above us. But you know, it's a lot more digging we gotta do as a people together. You understand?
Exactly.
To understand the bigger picture of it. And if you're not reading and paying attention, you don't got eyes to see and ears to hear, and you missing it. You lost in the sauce. And
It ain't for
but
everybody though. That's the thing.
cat is out the bag though. We
Everybody.
know what that information is. They've been hiding from us, man. We the ones, man. So just know that that's what it is.
And that's what Marcus was touching on. Like, you know what I'm saying? People that just want to run that rat race. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even want to know the knowledge. They just like, you know, let me do this.
They cool playing
this out. Come home. I don't want to know any information. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
I mean, it's a lot of people out there like that, and those the ones. I mean, you holler at them 2 or 3 times, but after the 3rd time, you're not obligated to go back that far. You tried. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That was how I approached it. That's how, you know what I'm saying. I met Randall when, you know what I'm saying, I was working with him. Like I was in his ear dropping jewels, you know what I'm saying? But if it ain't registered, if you ain't had an ear to hear, I did my part, you know what I'm saying? But the objective is critical thinking. So you can have the vigilance and the discernment to see, you know what I'm saying, what's really going on as far as
there your word, Corey.
How they use the media to propagate things and
I like that word, discernment.
Discernment. That's his word.
That's all the word.
That's the key word though. That shit is real though. That shit is real. That's a word. That's a gift. That's a spiritual gift.
Yeah, no, for real though.
So the biggest thing, and he touched on this, but the biggest thing, I was going to go a little bit deeper. Like, how many Black historians do you know? You know, like how many Black people do you know that major in history, or you know that got that degree in history? And I'm just talking about general. I'm not saying that even the books will tell you everything, but I've discovered stuff by reading history, you know what I'm saying? By looking at history and what it was and how it's become now, you know, like evolution, like it'll almost unveil the story and the stuff that you don't know now because it was conveyed then, and it tell you, you know what the current state is, right? But you didn't read what the future state was. So it's like all of that story in between. You have no idea what it is. I was talking to Phil. I think I was talking to Phil about this because I was just, you know, and I'm just relating this to sports because I was looking up, you know, different aspects of sport evolution and how the history of how, you know, professional
gladiators
started, Black players, and how we were banned from certain things, but just the evolution of the game. Evolution where it started, like we all we know is from 1985 or 86 to now, and and the stories that were told about, you know, Pete Maravich, or I can't remember his name, but you know, some of the older players that we never really saw, but we see black and white tapes of it. But have we really, like, you know, looked at the evolution of it? And that's one. It's like it almost like fills in a lot of gaps. When you look at the history of even like land and the history of how they, you know, proportion, this land is yours, this land is, you know what I'm saying? Like how do they make rules and regulations?
Even the size they put on maps.
Exactly. Yeah, because that was distorted. That was distorted too. Like, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when I was at Bowie State, I didn't even give a fuck about history. I wanted to learn about Black history. I was learning about Black history on my own, but I ain't give. Like history was boring and shit to me. But when I graduated, it was like, yo, like I'm filling in all of these pieces because nobody's gonna tell you what it was like in 1600. You know what I mean? Like who wants to? Yeah.
You saying some real shit. Hey, I noticed a pattern with a lot of niggas, like from my experiences, a lot of niggas, like, you know, you go through high school, whatever, you go through your, we like to call, you know, your indoctrination and shit, all the history, whatever they teach you. And a lot of people, they don't like, you can kind of meet a person and tell, like, all right, did this person further their education past high school? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll meet somebody, it's like some people with quote unquote depth is like, oh, that person actually, you know, researched something. They learned something. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of niggas actually get a better understanding, like they or learn more after school. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get your real education, you get a better understanding of the world after school. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you and then when you meet people who don't start to educate them, you can kind of like see it just through conversation. Like, did that person actually research and did that person actually ask questions? You know what I'm saying? You can kind of get that sense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just something I see. And a lot of people I see is like when they become the person that they are, as far as their outlook on the world, you know what I'm saying? It usually comes after school, like, you know what I'm saying? Through self-education rather than, you know, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like through that way. So I see that shit a lot.
That makes sense.
So,
It's a higher learning, baby. That's a higher learning.
It has to be, but it has to be you though. It has to be like a yearning within yourself to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It can't be no like oh, I had to learn this because school made me. Like that's where the real learning come in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all remember our first couple episodes when everybody was saying that we want to go to Egypt and kind of, you know, discover some of the things that we see, we read about, we you know, we want to visualize it. And I'm just, you know, just recapping, man. That's a powerful thing to be able to walk on the land and, you know what I'm saying, and kind of deduct for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally be like, well, this is the proportion from this pyramid to you know what I'm saying, to this land was so called this. Like, does that even make sense? What I just, you know what I'm saying, what I just read, and how does this tie together? So that shit is powerful. Like actually walking the land that you reading about or that you trying to, you know what I'm saying, figure out or find more information on. So yeah, I'm just saying that because like there's certain places I went to, like Afghanistan and Egypt. I'm sorry, not Ethiopia and Djibouti.
World traveler. Shaq is a world traveler.
And the reason why the reason why I'm saying that though is because I can read all I want, but when I'm going there, you know what I'm saying, I'm not just staying at a hotel. Like I want to discover, you know what I mean? Like I'm going. Yeah, I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to some of the marks that's not really represented on you know, historical books where you should go. I'm going to the ones where they don't really talk about, and like I want to know more about it. And you know,
like why are these black people in this joint? I'm looking at these black faces. What's going on? I feel that.
But my thing is how you know you going like where they say you going, and I know that sounds like a high question to ask. Like
expand on that.
I'm saying like, all right. So they say you cross the Atlantic Ocean, and
as far as the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah, and you be in Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
What proof do we have that that's legit? What's going on as far as the geographical layout of the continent?
I hear you because I done seen videos talking about we was already here.
This core topic, you just sparked some.
We was already here. I hear you. Go ahead. Speak on it.
Because it's like I don't want to swing it back toward the flat Earth, but like when you look into like the flight paths that the planes take and layovers and all this nonsense, it's certain flights that you can track them on they got little.
Right. One thing I gotta ask, bro, like y'all been from like here to Houston, why that shit take so short from like compared to like here to like, you know what I mean, other places in the West? Like Houston is like a weird place to me. When y'all fly from here to Houston, it's like so short. It's like 2.5 hours. But it's supposed to be out west. You know what I'm saying?
But it's really like south.
It don't match the map.
It say it's south, but I'm saying as far as the flight,
that should be like 2 hours though.
Is it a no fly zone right there? So they gotta go around?
I don't know. It seems way shorter than what it should be. That's just my.
Hey, hold on. So you saying it take 2 hours to get to Houston?
I might be slicing it, but it takes way shorter than what it do on Western.
From where?
Like nigga, 2 hours to Houston.
I might be slicing it, but like Shaq, you definitely flew to
I
Houston
know
and Dallas.
like Fort Worth is not that bad either. Like
Yeah.
it's not a bad flight.
How long is that jump? Like what? Like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe.
Fort Worth is 3 hours.
All right, but like when you go to Vegas and that's above the jump,
From
that's
where,
like
though?
5 hours, 5.5 hours, 6 hours. Like it don't match how they say it fit on the map. Because you look at the map, Houston right here, and then you know what I mean.
You're right.
Right? Yeah, it don't match the map.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That's so the funny thing, and I know he was talking about. Do you know you really flying to Africa? Do you know you really flying over the Atlantic Ocean? And it's crazy because like what is our knowledge of that? You know what I'm saying? Like all you know is you're on the plane and they showing you a screen telling you where you're going over. But if you're not a damn professional ass pilot and you ain't looking at the
even them like they just following a flight pattern. Yeah.
That's legit, man. That's what I'm telling you. Like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true.
That's why I'm asking from
Hey,
where, because the flight from here won't for my bachelor party or whatever. The flight from DC to fucking
Vegas is like 5.5, 6.
took fucking forever.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If you go to Houston, that shit is like
Not for
3
me.
hours max, bro. I think but why should be like quicker on the way back? Like I don't understand that part.
Yeah, that too. That is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's different though. Like when you flying over water or whatever, they have different
Wind
protocols
speeds
all
and
that.
shit like that. Yeah.
They got different protocols. I will say
Also,
that.
all right. Now this is on my mind. Like, what's the deal with like the Earth is like spinning nonstop and shit? Like, how is that possible?
Somebody touch
like,
on it. Somebody touch on it.
Super fast speeds and shit like that.
We get a Scientologist on it.
Huh?
I think Scientologist on here, so we can have like the scientific term, and then we get, like what we actually think. You know what I mean?
How is it possible?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would just say,
what's the question? What's the question?
Like, supposedly we are spinning like stupid.
All right, look, Randall. This is what I want you to do. You got to pull up some pictures. Pull up some pictures of the Earth in orbit spin. And I just want y'all to think about this shit. Like,
yeah,
Earth in orbit spin.
Welcome back, Phil.
What sense does that shit make?
Well,
that shit don't make no sense.
And
the Earth, flying, and then we got all these planets flying around it, and the sun is up front, and everything is orbiting around the sun. Like,
you talking about the actual Earth spinning? I don't know. You probably.
I mean, everything's supposed to be spinning, right?
Yeah,
right.
Like at a crazy speed.
So,
like imaginable speed.
This is the point I was going to get to. If all of this is taking place, and I wanted the picture to be on the screen, but it's all good. If all this is taking place, why, when you time lapse a camera pointed straight at the stars, they rotate in the same pattern? It's the same exact pattern. They don't shift. They don't wobble. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. It's the same exact pattern. Time lapse, it go around the same exact way. How is that possible if we are floating through space, even if it's at a specific, you know what I'm saying? If we had a fixed, because they say we on the axis, even if it's at a fixed spinning point, we still rotating. The stars would shift at some point. You know what I'm saying? The stars don't shift. They're in a fixed pattern going around. It don't make no sense.
Don't shift? What you mean the stars don't shift?
Like,
we always see like one, like if we supposedly spinning nonstop, why do we can look at the stars all night long in one position?
No, not even in one position. Like, I'm telling you, like take a high powered recording telescope or something, a high powered camera, a red camera, pointed straight at the stars for a week at a time, 72 hours, 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The stars, they rotate. They call them the heavenly bodies. They rotate in a specific pattern. They don't alter. Right above us.
You're saying, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Understand? If we was rotating, flying through space, that pattern would wobble or shift in some way, shape, or form at some point in time if we was flying through space the way they describe us to be. It don't make no sense.
I don't think you could equate that to like how you said the heavenly, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to, some things you just can't understand, like the heavenly aspect of it. Because I don't know, you know, I'm not a space expert, but I would almost like say that I would chalk that up to something that I really couldn't understand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's the heavenly aspect of it in the space. I don't know.
I could see that.
I think it just don't make sense. I don't know though.
I could see
That's
that.
just me.
What would make more sense then? Like the stars in rotation, for instance.
Mm-hmm. The stars is the one rotating, not us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they in the same position as they was, you know what I mean, on cycle.
That's because they in a fixed rotating position. Like think about a baby in a crib and the toy rotating above his head in a fixed, steady rotation. That's almost what we dealing with.
Yeah. It never deviates. It's always the same position. That's why they talk about the Big Dipper and everything, because that shit stays the same.
Yeah, they do always. You always able to point that shit out.
Think about this too. The ancients used to navigate the land with the stars. How is that possible if you float? Like they'd be lost. They'd be on the other side of the map, other side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They used to go on great voyages, continent to continent. You know what I'm saying? Like how is that possible? How is it possible to navigate the seas with the stars if you flying billions of miles per hour through space rotating? It don't make sense.
So in this experiment, did anybody, are y'all swaying on the idea that we live on a globe, or y'all think y'all think everything like is up for debate? I feel like that.
I feel like nothing's set in stone, man. Nothing's set in stone unless you have that one piece of information that we lack in tangible proof. I'm sure somebody got it somewhere. I'm not completely sold on either side. I just know something ain't right.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's the key. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. If you're naive and you think everything is as it seems, then you haven't been through enough shit. Because I do question everything, and I you know, especially if I don't have like super, you know, expertise in a specific subject. Like, how am I supposed to speak on? How am I supposed to speak on how something works if I'm not, you know, knowledgeable about it? So yeah, I feel like it could be, you know,
like being an agnostic.
yeah, it could be like experts telling you this, and then everybody just say, "Yeah, that's right," and then it's written down in the book, and then everybody just go by it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't believe everything. I don't even. Now, what did I say? I said I don't believe 90% of what I hear and half of what I see. So yeah,
Bars.
even though I see it, shit. Like I don't necessarily believe it. But the key thing is, and this is the next step type shit, right? Like, how do we prove it wrong? Like that's you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff that we saying makes sense, but how do we like theoretically prove that shit wrong? You know?
That's a great question.
That's when you start watching Ancient Aliens.
When he said that, oh no, you going backwards. You going backwards. I was watching that when I was 10 and 11. Like, you going backwards. I'm saying, like, that's a great question because at the end of the day, it's psychological warfare. It's the psychological operations that got us in the state that we're in. So if we can mentally meditate and navigate through the propaganda, misinformation, and form something tangible that is bulletproof without a doubt, is proven this. We gotta be historians. We gotta go through the history. We gotta do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way to do it.
Yep.
Once we got it, then how you gonna deny it? It's can't deny it right there, written in your face.
Yeah, and also a lot. If you get a better understanding of history, you can also like it helps you see through the bullshit a lot because there's a lot of bullshit that gets spewed, especially like through politics and shit like that. And during the election period, like if you actually educate yourself on history, you can actually like see through a lot of the bullshit that these politicians say. Because a lot of times they just say shit that they think you want to hear anyway. So, but just in general, man, that shit that helps you see through the bullshit. I promise you. Like just getting a better understanding. Yeah. It's just that simple, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Man, a lot of them
because a lot of times they just play off. That's all they play off, just narratives. You know?
They use the same lines too.
Yeah,
they be saying the same things as each other. You gotta play back the recording. They be saying the same thing. Like, damn, that's what my man said. He said that 4 years ago, 8 years ago, and they still going for it. It show you that we ain't thinking.
We just played one of the podcasts earlier. Or not today, but like a few podcasts ago, we played this Malcolm X video where Malcolm X was basically saying the same shit niggas saying today. So I'm looking at that shit like if Malcolm X saying the same shit today, that means that niggas ain't evolving. I mean, something got to change. You know what I'm saying? Like this word, but like. How old was Malcolm X? That's our great grandfather's age. That's our great, you know what I'm saying? That's our grandfather's age. Like, like nigga, we speaking the same shit our grandfathers were speaking. Like, nah, something got to give at some point. It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same exact conversation. We doing in that same conversation, he was like, yeah, John F. Kennedy promised this. We voted for him, and he didn't fulfill this. He said he was gonna solve the race problem. He didn't do that. He said that in 1960, whatever the hell that was. Nigga, we 2021. So and so didn't fulfill this. So and so didn't do that. So it's like, nigga, what the? So it's like, but the thing is, I be looking at it. Niggas, we get all caught up in their emotions over this political shit, and it's like, nigga, it's like as much progression you think you seeing. If niggas is having the same conversation, no progression, and we using the same tactic, thinking that's actually getting us somewhere. When Malcolm X, who was so-called, I'm not saying nothing against him, I'm just saying in general, he was actually fighting for something, and clearly that shit ain't, you know what I'm saying, ain't whatever his dream was, or whatever he was trying to see into fruition, it didn't happen because we fighting for the same shit, allegedly, like, you know what I'm saying, or supposedly, we fight for the same shit, so you know what I'm saying, but what are we doing now?
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, what are we
the
doing?
same shit I was talking about earlier too. Like all these like people they compromise, and Malcolm X, and they just had the Hampton Joan and and the Snowfall just debuted tonight. Like every time the government intervene in some shit, and they show y'all shit repeatedly over and over again. What makes y'all think this shit's not happening right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
History is replete. Man,
it is happening, man.
If you look at history, man, you just look at history and you see you see what's going on, man.
It's the same shit, man.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
The
How
same
you gonna
tactic.
fall?
Generation after generation.
Well, he said you fooled me once. You can't get fooled again, goddamn. Like you can't just fall for the
Exactly.
trick bag.
At some
Can't just
point,
fall
some
for
guy
the trick bag. You keep falling for it,
over and
then
over again.
that's definition of insanity, man. You keep on doing the same thing over,
Exactly.
expecting different result. You out of there. Ain't
So
listen to you no more.
so to that point too, Marcus, you hit the nail on the head, and then Malcolm X actually predicted that shit too. He said that what they'll do is they'll give you, something in the limelight to make it look like they're trying to solve the problem, and all it is misdirection, basically. And so he knew that shit. He lived that shit. You know what I'm saying? He probably had people, saying, yeah, we'll have a platform for you for about 15 minutes, and then that'll solve everything. You know what I'm saying? Like bullshit like that. And so like he realized that like decades and decades ago, and it's still fucking happening. Oh yeah, I
You
think
know
it's a
why?
lot
It's
of
because we
people. Like Remy said, it's a lot of people settling and saying, "Yeah, we got this, or we got this one college, or we got $1 million donated now, we good." But nah, that didn't solve the
exactly.
problem.
Man,
But
Niggas
everything just
we be
be
getting token.
compromised. Everything's compromised, man.
everything, man, it's
Exactly.
terrible because if it wasn't, it could be so simple, man.
And then it just be so in
All
your
right, but
face,
look,
man.
here's a question. Here's a question real quick. So, all right, sorry. Here's a good question, right? Because we live in right now in society. It's like everybody got like this get the bag type mentality. Like do what you gotta do to get the bag, like get the money, whatever. So if we live in a society that celebrate that, then how come at what I'm saying, at the same time, like how can we call somebody, be mad at somebody and say it's like one end is worship the money, one end is have integrity. It's like where's that middle ground? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we be trying to serve two masters. Like you can only choose one. You see what I'm
You
saying?
can't serve
So where's
two
that
masters,
middle ground?
man.
Because I feel like a lot of people exactly you can't, but I feel like a lot of people talk off both ends. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us. You know what I'm saying? So I just figure I'm just wondering like where's the middle ground? You know what I'm saying?
So that's a good question, I'm just referencing the needle, the camel trying to fit through the needle in the Bible. Like that was referenced, but it's also referenced that you should partake of everything that you can because you are born as a king. And so it is a balance. I just don't know what that balance is, but I know that it also you gotta prosper and be fruitful. Like it's a lot of different correlations between that. So
I say that balance is found in the law that he asks us to keep, and that's the commandments. If you following the commandments, then it should be no, misunderstanding as far as tipping one way or the other. You're gonna know you're always on that right side.
yeah.
As long as you follow,
That's
that's your order, that's your foundation right there. You understand? So if you're doing that, then
So
you
you saying even like to Lighthouse Point, you got to be one or the other. You saying you could be one or the other, but as long as you follow the commandments, you good to go. Like that's what that even if you stupid rich and you know what I'm saying, you going after as much money as you can get.
I mean,
I mean, let's put it like this: like you can have money, but it's like you can't. You got to always you got to serve some better than money. Money can't be your god. Money can't be your like. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some sort of integrity, something. Yeah, it can't be your foundation. Exactly. You can't. Money can't be your foundation. What motivates you? It got to be something spiritual that motivates you every day. You can still be rich, but what gets you up in the morning got to be something spiritual. That's what keeps that balance. Like there's nothing wrong with being fruitful. There's nothing wrong with being posture. What's the word? I said posturous. Is that the right word?
I got you, bro.
Yeah. but there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so but you just got to, but your foundation, like you were saying, it got to be spiritual, got to be something like within your relationship with God for real. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's where the balance lies, right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Man, that's what I've come to understand. You understand? So everybody got their own path they gotta walk.
yeah.
And like, as long as you, like you said, as long as you know in your heart that you're doing what you need to, you know what I'm saying? And shit, you feeling good when you get up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Purpose.
That's real shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, we could leave it right here. It's been an hour, 15 minutes. You know, overtime. Special guest Don. Oh, Don, tell him you got a business.
Oh yeah. I'm a
Especially
firearms instructor.
Oh yeah.
In the
there you go.
DMV area.
Get qualified. He can help you get qualified.
Oh,
okay. If y'all seeking y'all HQL or concealed carry license,
calm down, Corey.
yeah, you can go to the link right there on my name at Self Educate.
There you go. Yeah.
You find the information you need. Check that out.
Because you gotta protect, you and yours the
Exactly.
right way, the
Especially
absolute
in
right
these
way.
times, man. People out here wilding, man. It's not even that you're seeking trouble. You know, you don't want to seek trouble. Even if you're not seeking trouble, though, people, everybody don't have a pure heart, good intentions. So
I'm with it.
yeah.
I'm with it.
you gotta protect yourself
You might
out
have
here.
to cat.
Something wrong with
Yeah. I'm glad you recognize it.
If I had to go down.
Oh wow.
But yeah,
wow.
but yeah, if you want to do it the right way,
Yeah,
the
do it
responsible way.
Responsible way, the legal way, man. Most important, you always gotta follow the law.
Because it is your right to do so. It's your right
On
to
a
do so.
legally have to cat.
Who's that illegal? Something's wrong with him.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Yeah, it's been good. Yeah. Welcome back, Shaq.
Good old T. Welcome back.
Welcome, Don.
Yeah, good to you, man.
Welcome.
Yeah.
You got him back on.
man.
You got him back on for the OT.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Come back again, man.
Yeah,
sure.
back on another segment, bro.
All right, for sure though.
All right, I'll holla at y'all.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right then.